Hi, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm a distributor, independent distributor with the Nika & Company. And this is a product showcase. We have several product showcases. The one today on Thursdays at 11 in the morning on the East Coast, 8 o'clock on the West Coast. And then we have another one tonight at, I think it's 8 on the East Coast and 5 on the West Coast. And so you can tune in anytime to pick up more personal stories about using Nika technologies. So I'll do a quick overview with a PowerPoint slide presentation, and then we will talk, share our personal stories with the Nika technology so you can get an idea of what Nika might be able to do for you. So let me share my screen. So Nika is all about discover active wellness and living a life in balance. And I discovered Nika, it was 20 years ago, August. And I fell in love with it right away for a number of reasons. One is I'd been studying nutrition and natural health for 20 years already and sharing it with people. I counseled for a couple of health food stores. And I was also a lawyer, and I knew a lot about corporations, and I was really impressed with Nika as a company. They had a very clear mission of helping people live a life of balance through selling their amazing technologies, which were based on ancient Asian philosophy combined with modern technology. And it made so much sense to me that it was a whole nother dimension besides exercise and nutrition to help support total wellness. And so I wanted it for my family right away, but I was also looking for a way to reach more people with a natural wellness philosophy and make more money doing that. And I had a family counseling practice at the time, but I could only charge by the hour. And one of the biggest stresses on families was their finances. So the idea that Nika could create a life of balance just was a perfect fit for me. And still is. It's been great. So this next slide is about the compound effect of all the little decisions we make every day. And I saw that in the families that I was counseling with, whether they were eating well, whether they spent time together, whether they got good sleep, all added up to whether they were irritable and tired and nasty to each other, or actually got along and felt healthy and vibrant and energized. So this is a really important part of Nika. If you're watching the video, the humans being more concept, that's their motto, and their whole philosophy is building people through giving them what they need, the tools they need to build a life in balance. So the choices we make lead to our behavior and our results. Those are our lifestyle choices. And if we make poor ones or don't pay attention to our wellness, we become humans under stress and we don't achieve our potential. And it has a negative effect on everything, on our income, our health, our relationships, our overall happiness, and our success in all areas of our life. So Nika makes it easy to make those good daily decisions. So Nika's a leader in the area of non-medical support of health, and the health facts today are very scary. The body burden on our physiological health and our mental health has only increased in the last 20 years. Stress is the biggest killer. It's a silent killer. It just consumes our bodies over time. So all these chronic illnesses that kill us early are stress related: heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke. And the things that reduce our quality of life, fatigue, allergies, depression, anxiety, sleep problems, weight problems, all of them are related to stress. And it's the stress response that that our body is trying to deal with accumulated stress, and it gets worn out and things start to break down. It's fairly straightforward, but what can we do about it? The sleep problems are on the increase. 70% of Americans have sleep issues. We don't sleep long enough. We don't sleep deep enough. We have trouble going to sleep, trouble waking up. We're tired. We're taking medications to try to change that. And they all lead to problems. One poor night's sleep drops your immune system by 60%. The memory doesn't lay itself down well if the sleep isn't good. And we feel tired. We get into car accidents, accidents on the job, and so on. And it's a huge problem, especially since the recession, when everybody's working longer hours now to try to make ends meet. Then we have the chemical pollution that's in our air and water. In most homes in the US now, the indoor air is worse than the outdoor, because in the 70s we closed up our houses to save on costs of heating and cooling. And so all the modern chemicals that we bring in to clean or make our bedding flame resistant, or the outgassing from our furniture and our curtains and that kind of thing, it's all producing chemicals that are alien to the body and increase the body burden. And then the Flint, Michigan story has really heightened our awareness of pollution in our tap water, heavy metals like lead. And we put chlorine in our water to kill anything that could kill us acutely, suddenly. But then all those chlorine compounds are in there, and they can be carcinogenic, they can be dangerous, and we really should remove them. When people buy bottled water so that it'll taste better than the tap, it may have as many as thousands of chemicals there too. They just try to make it taste better by removing the chlorine. And we've found endocrine disruptors, medications, things from agricultural pesticides and herbicides in our tap water. So we need to do something about that too. So what is the answer to try to reduce the body burden that's wearing us down prematurely? The children, of course, suffer the worst. Obesity rates are at their highest in 2010, and they're not getting any better now that it's 2017. A third of adults are having obesity problems, 12 million children. 1 out of every 5 adolescents is obese, and we know it's because of poor nutrition and too many empty calories, too many sugars and refined carbohydrates and high fructose corn syrup and so on. And even children are now getting these chronic diseases, cardiovascular disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes in younger and younger kids, along with the obesity epidemic. And less than half of adolescents are eating the needed amount of vegetables. Only 27.1% of high schoolers are getting the recommended activity level. And we can understand that if they're low on energy with a poor diet and they're carrying extra weight, they don't feel like running and jumping. And of course, low-income families have it the worst, more stress, anxiety, depression, and less access to quality foods in general. So what is the answer? It's really about humans being more, us taking an active role in our wellness. If we leave it to chance, the chances aren't good, as I've just tried to describe. So we say, let's be healthy by choice, not by chance, and take an active role in our wellness. Learn about how to keep ourselves healthy and make choices based on that for a more successful existence. So Nikken entered the field 42 years ago, and it started in Japan. And it was based on the visionary concept of a man who really wanted to improve his family's health, and he knew he was out of balance, and he developed a philosophy of true balance, and reaching your potential depends on areas of 5 pillars of health: healthy mind, healthy body, healthy society, healthy family, and healthy finances. And all of these need to be in balance. If any of them is weak, the others get weak. Like if you have a nail in a tire, it's not just that one area that doesn't work. The whole thing starts to fail. And I loved this because when I left corporate law, I knew I was giving up the high finances that some of my partners had, but their lives weren't looking good at all. They were pasty and fat, and many of them, and surrounded by negativity and the adversarial environment of the law, and didn't have time for their family, and weren't really sure they were helping anybody with their work, and didn't have time for their charitable interests. So they had all the money in the world, but nothing. They didn't have time to do what they wanted to do with it. And then we gave up the high-powered law practice to focus on our health, healthy mind, and healthy family and healthy body. But it wasn't until Nikken that we realized that we could have it all. So Nikken's a totally holistic approach. And it gives us what we call the Nikken advantage, a holistic approach that addresses all the major support needs for the body. And Nikken started out with the unique concept of returning our bodies to the natural energy field that all living things require. And that's because the earth is a magnet. All life developed on the earth. And but when we live in these concrete buildings surrounded by electric and now Wi-Fi, which didn't even exist 40 years ago or even 20, we are completely bombarded by energies that aren't natural to the body. So having something that with natural rare earth permanent magnets helps us restore that healthy environment. Everything works better in our bodies. So you never know what could get better when you're in the Nikken energy environment. So they started with insoles, developed sleep systems, developed a wonderful nutritional line, and even light and air products. And we will be talking about them in a moment. So we have basically three categories. I'll start on, if you're watching the picture, the rest and relaxation on the right. That's where Nikken pioneered the insoles to let us be walking on a magnetic field as if we were barefoot in the park rather than up 17 stories in an office building, which is where I was working when I was a lawyer. And it makes a huge difference. I noticed better balance when I was doing ballroom dancing. I didn't get tired climbing stairs like I had before. When I was running, I didn't get sore in my muscles. Truly an amazing invention, and Nikken became the fastest growing company in the history of Japan, just with that one product in its first 4 years. Then they developed a futon so that when you're in the sleeping environment, you get into a nice deep sleep with that magnetic technology. And Nikken's technologies now are in their 4th generation. They're constantly enhancing the effectiveness of the gentle magnetic fields to penetrate through the body. So the other thing on the picture is one of our most popular small products, the Kenko pad, which was designed for the lower back, and we have a wonderful wrap to put it in for the lower back, but people use it for breathing, they use it for tummy trouble. I was recommending it for someone's shoulder yesterday. Then we have a whole line of nutritional products. I'm sitting on a Nikken seat. I can sit here and type my books for a couple hours and not get tired and stiff. And they're fantastic for driving. If you do a lot of driving, there's nothing like it. In the environmental area, the key is our water system. We call it a waterfall. It does everything that a natural mountain waterfall does to cleanse and energize the water. It filters it as fine as any filter out there, and then alkalizes it and mineralizes it and micro structures it so that it's more bioavailable to the cells. We also have a shower system that does all those things and produces micro bubbles so the water really penetrates and cleanses the skin. And we also have air and light systems. I'm not going to go into all the detail, but Niken's products are always second to none in the marketplace. If it's not ahead of everything else, they just don't even produce it. And then the nutrition line is extraordinary. It addresses all the major functions in the body, and in a special way. Everything is top grade quality formulation with food, with organic food excipients whenever possible, so that the body recognizes any kind of supplement as food rather than as just one more chemical it has to dispose of. If you're watching the picture, a couple of our core products are here. The Osteodens, which Niken developed uniquely with Dr. Naidu, who's discovered and studied for 30 years the lactoferrin molecules that really help the body transport and metabolize minerals properly. So it's extraordinary. It really helps with bone health, and we've seen amazing results for people. Then there's the juice, the Siaga juice, which is an antioxidant juice, but it also helps the gastrointestinal system, immune system, antioxidant, and the adaptogenic, which is adapting to stress so that the body, as I said earlier, can recover from the chronic stresses we expose ourselves to. And then we have an amazing line of skincare as well. So I want to move on to mention our everyday organic-based weight management system. This is changing everything. It's an everyday system. It's to actually re-educate the body by nourishing the brain properly so you make good food choices, and giving you the protein and the organic-based foods that you need. It's a functional food, but it's a great powder, very convenient. Even if you're not trying to lose or gain weight, it's a great quick breakfast, quick lunch, quick snack. But we also have paleo bars that are snack, only 3 or 4 ingredients in each one, and they taste fantastic. And then we have supplements to help get rid of the toxins that you accumulate when you do have extra weight, and also just the normal body burden in today's life, and digestion, which helps you really use all these nutrients that you're putting into your body. And then the other piece of that everyday management program is our Kenzen 10-4, which is unique in the marketplace as an energy drink. It's based on organically grown matcha tea, so that the stimulant, the caffeine in the tea, is absorbed gradually. So you have a nice little pickup, but no down thing. So you don't get the jitters or anything. There's no withdrawal symptoms, because it works naturally with the body instead of manipulating it. So cleanse, balance, and energize is what that program is all about. And you can say that about every Niken product. It helps the body balance itself, cleanse itself, and re-energize itself, and minimize the aging process too. So I'm going to turn off my screen share and invite some of our participants here to share their stories. I'm just going to share one story that one of the reasons I recognized Niken so immediately was that when we were in upstate New York, living off the land in an old 1830s farmhouse, we had a dirt basement, and so there was nothing between us and the earth. And we noticed that we had so much more energy. And it wasn't until I heard about Niken that I realized it was because we were continually exposed to the Earth's magnetic field. So we just didn't accumulate stress the same way. The other thing was, when we were up there as young lawyers, we did do something meaningful, helping the local farmers and Indians fight the placement of an ultra-high voltage transmission line across their land. And that actually exposed me to the testimonies about what modern electricity can do in distorting our health and making us more vulnerable to chronic disease. There were some amazing pictures of dandelions 14 inches across, and stories from farmers where their dairy cows were not healthy. They had trouble conceiving. They would have two-headed calves and real problems with the dairy cows when the farmers had their places near the high voltage lines in Canada. So when I heard that this company figured out how to put us back in some healthier energy, I was all over it. So that's my story. And let's see, who would like to raise their hand or unmute themselves and share their story? Let's see, Karen Rose, would you like to share what got your attention about Nikken?
When I found Nikken in 2000, and
can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Anyhow, I discovered Nikken in 2000. And one of the things that I heard a lot of stories about were animals, especially horses. And so I got really excited about helping animals with the products. And that was even before the water. We didn't even have the water yet. So I love having the water for my animals, and I love helping animals. And I'm going tomorrow, I'm going to do a massage. I also learned equine massage. And what I really got excited about is using the Mag Creator and the Mag Duo, and now we have the Kenko Touch. And so I'm doing a massage tomorrow. I'm meeting a woman doing a massage. But what I'm really excited about is I would have had to charge her for a massage, and now I can just show her the Nikken products and not charge her for a massage, and show her how she can do it herself. So that really excited me about being able to have people use these tools. And I'm also talking to another woman who has a horse that I'm going to be working with. But the tools that I use is I use the travel pad. You can put that over the horse, and it does great things for their hoofs for the massage. It actually reduces the acidity, and they get acidity in their hoofs, and it causes all kinds of problems. And just by putting that blanket over them, it reduces that, and it's amazing. And then I usually do a massage over that with the Mag Creator, and I haven't used the Mag Duo yet, so I'm really excited about using the Mag Duo with this horse. So it's really fun to be able to share this with people with animals and horses, and I love that.
That's so cool, Karen Rose. It's so true. I love hearing the animal stories because we know it's not placebo with animals. They either respond to products or they don't, and we get such great results. And there's videos about how the horses just relax and start yawning and are more flexible, and it's a beautiful thing that we can help them. And the dogs, the cats, and any other animal, a recovering bird, you can put it on one of our pads and it'll do better. It's quite extraordinary. So Karen Rose is also from the corporate world and having a lot more fun helping people with Nikken, but a great background in with animals and in design, and well, you can tell better than I can, but we have such a variety of extraordinary people working with us in Nikken because we're all about helping people live better quality lives. Let's see, Hattie Jane, you want to share your story?
It's like mine is, I was just thinking when Karen Rose was talking about working with her clients. When I first discovered Nikken, about 21 years ago, I was working actively in the hospital setting as a RN, doing direct patient care. And I thought of how much I could help my patients have an access to something to help them deal with our hustle and bustle and be able to help them manage their discomforts until I could get to them with the order. And even though I was having some subtle health problems, and I was so glad, and that's what got me in, because it actually made a difference. I had more energy, I had more pep, I was back to being my old self, and all I did was put those suckers in my shoes. So it was really incredible, and I knew that Nikken had an answer, that we didn't have in our ongoing medical awareness and acceptance in the States. And I was really, and still am, totally excited because over the years, it has allowed me to continue taking care of my health and handle some vague, weird things and really get better and take care of my mom during her journey in Alzheimer's at her bedside. So between my animals, my mom, I have no doubt that it works on everybody and anybody. And really brings a wellness into whatever state of health we're in. So I'm just so excited that I can be a part of a company that is going to bring a really, and is bringing and has brought a really interruption in our current state of health care, which is positive and is self-usable, because everybody can have some discomforts or some weird stuff, but doesn't mean it's exactly like somebody else's. And this gives me an insight to what is mine. And when I own it, then I can change it.
Oh, that's so well put. That's so true. It's all about being healthy by choice and knowing yourself and knowing, believing that there are ways that your own body is always trying to get better and we can help it. So that was really well put. Somebody else want to share? Let's see, Dee, would you like to share your story?
Sure. I was introduced just 9 years ago last week, and I had lots of sleep issues for many years. I had back discomforts all over my back, and some related numbness down to my knee from an old car accident. And I also had bone density issues. And very low energy, because probably a lot related to the sleep and that sort of low grade chronic discomfort issue. And I just wanted to feel better. And I love the idea of the 5 pillars of health, that balance in the mind, body, family, society, and finances. And so I started using the products and I started feeling better. And then when I got the sleep system, I slept great the first night. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is what a good night's sleep feels like and how much more energy I had. So my bone density is now in the normal range the last 7 or 8 years. I don't have discomfort. If I do, I know what to do with it safely, easily. It's so simple to incorporate the products into our lives. And it is really exciting coming from a nursing background where we do such a wonderful job with trauma and accidents and acute issues. And yet the chronic piece that probably the majority of people suffer from at some point in their life, there aren't so many good answers. Typically the answers are medication, and that's not always the most desirable. So it's very exciting to know that there's something that we can do for our own self-care to help ourselves and for those we care about, and for really anyone in the world who is open to another way of helping themselves in many areas of their lives.
Well, thanks, Dee. That put it so well, and anyone who's listening realize that we do have so many nurses because they wanted to help people from the start, but they also know the limitations of the medical world and how much is really up to the self-care that the individual can contribute to their wellness. So thank you for sharing, Dee. I think we have time for a couple more comments if you're succinct, which you all have been. Thank you so much. Let's see. Elaine Matthews, I think you're going to be on the show tonight. But if you want to say a quick word or two, that'd be great.
Yes, hi. It's I'll talk a little bit about my son's cat, since I'm telling a different story tonight, okay? But it was Amy and Chad's cat, and it was 15, and it wouldn't eat, it wouldn't drink, it was losing weight, and it wasn't doing well at all. And took it to the vet. There was not much they could do. It was just old. And my son, I had given him the back flex. This was way back with the old one. And he put it in the basement where the cat liked to lay. And he said, it helped Grandma and it helped my mom. I wonder what it could do for the cat. And my son's in the medical field too and very skeptical. But he put it down and by darn, the cat laid on it. And it wasn't long, the cat started drinking. And then the cat started eating. Well, the cat was 15 when it got sick, and it lived to be 19 years old. So, wow, that for two people that were young, they were 21 and 20, I think, at that time, him and his girlfriend, now husband and wife, both in the medical field now, to learn that about animals. He says, I don't know how it works, but it worked. And Amy said, that product saved my cat's life.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the best story I share with people when they say it's all in my head.
Right. Right.
My dog wants to bark and share too, if you hear.
Speaking up there, let's see. We still have Connie and Mrs. Kramer. I'm having so much fun having everybody speak. So let's see, Mrs. Kramer, can you share? She's in Israel right now and enjoying the high holidays. And can you tell us what?
Oh, you disappeared, Randy. Did you mute yourself?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I guess I did. Yes, Mrs. Kramer, can you share? You're in Israel right now.
Okay, well, it was in Israel 6 years ago, this month actually, that I discovered Nikken. And thank God I did when I did, because I, in a few orders, got my wellness home. And then in another couple of months, I wound up in the hospital with a broken leg, a broken left leg, and a crushed right arm just under my elbow. And so my son brought my products to me to the hospital, and I had not the mattress in the hospital, but I had the mattress topper in the rehab. But I had my blanket, my pillow, my at the time Mag Boy. I had I didn't have my sleep mask. He couldn't find it, but I had made with a long black leg of a pantyhose. I took some what we called, I don't remember, power patches at the time we called them, and I stuck them inside this long stocking in the same configuration that they occur in the Kinko seat and the mattress, and that's a hexagonal configuration. And I would wrap that around my eyes, my head at night, with the magnets around my eyes, and around my arm during the daytime. And I would put my Kinko seat, the chair seat, in the bed at night, and in the wheelchair in the daytime once I could get into the wheelchair. And I was just constantly using the Mag Boy on my arm. Didn't have much else to do. And I used the Mag Creator a lot on my feet. Like putting my foot between the two big balls, and going back and forth like I was giving myself a reflexology treatment. And so I spent, unfortunately, I didn't have the water treatment system at the hospital. That was a little bit challenging. That didn't work to bring it. And I didn't have floor space for the regular size air treatment, but I did get the small traveler travel wellness ones.
Uh-huh.
And so I spent 2.5 weeks in the hospital, and then I spent 2.5 weeks in rehab. And it was just before Passover, and I decided I was not going to stay in the rehab for Passover. And I told them, I'll come in as an outpatient. And the doctor said, no, you won't. And so I said, okay, I'm out of here.
Uh-huh.
So I signed myself out, and I went to a dear, dear friend in my extended family, and I stayed with her for the 2 weeks, and I had all my Nikken products there. And briefly, after a year of the surgeries to put in the plates and then take out the plates, the titanium plates in my arm and my leg and whatever, the doctors were just amazed at how fast I had recovered from such a, especially in my arm, such a serious break. The surgeon was one of the top surgeons in the hospital, and said that it was in hundreds of pieces.
Wow.
It's still not 100%. I can't turn my palm to the ceiling without doing some kind of a contortion with my arm. And actually, I think that if I would spend more time with the Mag Duo or the Kinko Touch, with that, I might even recover some more of the nerve. The ulnar nerve was damaged.
Well, that certainly shows. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kramer. It shows how when we do our part, the healing can really be helped.
Yep.
Because our body's just healthier. And yeah, we're running out of time, but I'd love to have.
Sorry, I took a little longer than I should have.
Connie Livingston, I'd love to hear from you just for 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I discovered Nikken 16 years ago because I had sore feet. And normally that wouldn't be a problem, but I teach exercise classes. So sore feet was going to be a game changer for me. And I had another friend who said, who's in exercise, who said, try these. And she gave me the magnetic insoles. I love something that's so simple yet effective. It changed everything. My feet didn't hurt. My legs had more energy. I shared it with friends who worked retail that stand on their feet all day. It worked for them. I didn't really have to ask how it worked. It just worked. And so I've used all the different products and had the benefit of watching other people in my exercise classes feel better. And that's what it's all about. It's based in nature and science, backed by science, and I just love the products.
Oh, that's great, Connie. Thank you so much. Everybody's so modest, but Connie's a famous fitness trainer, and we have so many wonderful professionals that are all about helping people. So I'm going to go quick back to my little PowerPoint here so that I can finish up right. So ask yourself if what you're doing today is getting where you want to be in a year or 5 years from now as far as balance and health. And think about those 5 pillars of health. As you've heard from these women, it's not just about physical health, it's about the healthy mind and helping your family, helping your pets, helping society, and Nikken pays us well to help others. It's an amazing system. So discover it and live it. Become a customer. It's very easy. Get back with the person who sent you to this video or a recording. And if you fall in love with the products, as we believe you certainly will, you can start earning a nice income from Nikken and even make it a full-time home-based entrepreneurial career. So thank you for watching, and do go to theroyalalliance.com and see where the other live productions are or the recordings. And thank you to all our guests for sharing your wonderful stories. And I'm going to end my recording now. Thanks again.